Good morning and salam keluarga you. Good morning and salam keluarga. Opening good academy. Good morning and salam keluarga UITM. Welcome to International Virtual Symposium Research, Industry and Society Engagement 2022. Doa recitation.
الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم اغفر لنا ذنوبنا ولوالدينا وارحمهم كما ربونا صغارا ولجميع المسلمين والمسلمات والمؤمنين والمؤمنات برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. O Allah, on this blessed morning, in conjunction with the International Virtual Symposium, Research, Industry and Society Engagement, RISE 2022, we beseech thee and grateful towards you in favor of all the infinite blessing to us, your humble servant. We seek your blessing for a flawless progress of this event from the beginning till the end. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman, please bless us with your tawfiq and hidayah. Please guide us to greatness, peace, glory, and prosperity in this world and the hereafter. Ya Allah, granted us with available knowledge that will be beneficial to mankind in order to gain your mardatillah. Allahumma Rabbana آتنا من لدنك رحمة وهيئ لنا من أمرنا رشدا ربنا عليك توكلنا وإليك أنبنا وإليك المصير اللهم ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Opening address by the Dean of Academy of Language Studies, Associate Professor, Technologist Dr. Januddin Sardi.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. In the name of Allah, the most beneficent and the most merciful, it is with great pleasure that I welcome to all participants of the International Virtual Symposium, Research, Industry and Society Engagement 2022 to our Akademi Pengajian Bahasa UiTM Shah Alam, where scholars and researchers in partnership with government, industry and non-profit organizations develop cutting-edge knowledge and innovations for our future society. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, acquire knowledge and impart it to the people. At-Tirmizi. The quest for knowledge has been from the beginning of time, but knowledge only becomes valuable when it is shared and applied to benefit mankind. RISE 2022 will be a platform to gather and share the latest knowledge in university engagement, entrepreneurship, innovations in education, language commercialization, and engagement with the society. These are our sub-themes for this symposium. Academicians, researchers, and practitioners of this field will be able to share and discuss new findings, discoveries, and applications that can bring benefits to mankind. It is envisioned that the intellectual discourse will result in the future collaborations between universities, research institutions, and industry, both locally and globally. In particular, it is expected that focus will be given to synergizing industry and society towards economic sustainability, which is also the themes of this symposium. As the Dean of the Akademi Pengajian Bahasa, I would like to congratulate the organizing committee for their tremendous efforts in organizing the symposium. I hope that this sharing session will accomplish all of its aims. Once again, I am honored to welcome you to our virtual symposium and wish that all of us participating will be more enriched at the end of this event. Without further ado, with Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, in the name of Allah, most gracious, most merciful, I hereby open the Virtual Symposium RISE 2022.
Paper 1, Exploring Interaction in Newspaper Writing, a case study of the 2020 Sabah election. Presenters, Siti Aisyah Johari and Shamimi Turiman.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. I'm Aisha Johari, and this is our presentation for the Research Industry and Society Engagement RISE 2022 with our project titled Exploring Interaction in Newspaper Writing, a case study of the 2020 Sabah election. Now, this presentation or project is represented by me and a fellow team member, Shamimi Turiman, for the GIA number 600 TNCPI 5/3/DDF, as you can see on the slide. A disclaimer is that this research project idea belongs to our master's LG 750 student Shima Shazmimi Zakaria, which had it not been for her extensive and dedicated compilation of the corpora, this project would not have been successful. Some background to the study and problem statement. We like to refer to Ken Hyland's concept of meta-discourse, where it is the use of language in any kind of text of consideration, or how we use it in consideration for our readers or hearers based on our estimation of how best we can help them process and comprehend what we are saying. And so in media, the language being used is quite specific. One in particular would be newspaper writing, the style in which newspapers transmit information would vary according to the purpose as well as to their agencies. And one point to mention is that newspapers make reports of specific events, and in particular, this project covers what is known as the 2020 Sabah election. More particularly, we want to investigate how media talks about the 2020 Sabah election. So two of our main objectives for this project is to investigate the predominantly used meta-discourse in two newspapers. And the second one is to examine the similarities and differences in the distribution and use of meta-discourse across these texts or reports. So looking at the corpora, we have two sets of newspaper collection, or these broadsheets that are online collected. The Star online consists about 290 reports, whereas Malaysia Kini had 601 reports of collections that included the election date as well as post-election of that 2020 Sabah event. In total, you can see from the table that there were 96,973 running words for the Star, whereas it was a lot more words for Malaysia Kini. But in terms of the corpus software tool that we are using, Linksbox 6.0 would calculate on the basis of normalizing these numbers, and so it would be pretty balanced throughout. In terms of representativeness, these news reports are representative of how the Star Online and Malaysia Kini reports the incident or the 2020 Sabah election several weeks coming to the election day itself, as well as a few more weeks after that. However, for the purpose of this project, we focus on key n-grams only, which we decided to look at 2 or 4 sequences or phrases. By n-grams here, we mean contiguous combinations of word types, lemmas, i.e. the word forms, various word forms, and the part of speech. Here, I would like to show you some of the results where we use Linksbox software to compare the n-grams between the Star Online corpus as well as the Malaysia Kini corpus. So what you see on the screen now would be the positive key 2 grams as opposed to the negative key 2 grams, or what they call bigrams. Similar to if you look at the key 3 grams or trigrams that you can see on the left-hand side column, those are the positive key trigrams, again, significantly more prevalent or occurring in the star compared to its occurrence in Malaysia Kini using the log likelihood measure. Here's the last one for the key 4 grams. So when we look at Highland's 2005 interpersonal model of meta-discourse, he has classified them into 2 sub-main categories: interactive meta-discourse types that can include transitions like in addition, and so that frame markers like finally, to conclude, endorphic markers like noted above, see figure so and so, evidentials like according to X or Z states, code glosses such as namely, for instance, and etc. And then there are interactional meta discourse meta-discourses such as hedges, boosters, attitude markers, self-mentions, engagement markers, of which some are evident in the corpora and where we use Highlands as a model to categorize our meta-discourse phrases. So what we have found is that positive key engrams show statistically significant sequences or phrases in the star relative to its occurrence in Malaysia Kini. And these are not very much as opposed to content words that refer to lexical type of words like names, proper names, and even nouns. So when it comes to meta-discourse, there's a particular focus on grammatical functional words, and these are, as you can see in the bullets there, bigrams like said doctor, which is also part of a larger engram, which is the 4 engram, said Dr. Nur Hisham. Cases existing clusters as well as of them requiring ventilators. These are more significant in the star, but not in Malaysia Kini. So that's not very much telling, as these are all quite frequent, looking at self-mentions that are attributed to Dr. Nur Hisham. But when we look at negative key engrams, that is more telling of how phrases are more significant in the reference corpus, which we used here, Malaysia Kini. We can see here that there are more variations, and these include bigrams like agree to, been in, still active, to wait. Trigrams like involved in the, stay at home, we need to, still under investigation, in who had just. Finally, for 4 grams, we have a part of the, at a private hospital, and at the end of. So what can we say about these engrams? When we look at exploring interaction in a newspaper, there are so many types of phrases or ways in which writers can project their stance or how they'd like the information to be conveyed to the reader. And so with investigating the star in Malaysia Kini, when it comes to reports of 2020 Sabah election, using Ken Highland's meta-discourse framework, we have found that the STAR has many interactive, interactional meta-discourse types that are identified as negative key engrams. And what this simply means is that they are more occurring in Malaysia Kini. Among these include frame markers like at the end of, evidentials like are part of the, hedges like who had just, attitude markers agreed to, self-mentions like we need to, engagement markers like to wait. This means that interactive and interactional meta-discourse are more prevalent when reporting on the 2020 Sabah election in Malaysia Kini compared to in the STAR. So what does this tell us in terms of implications? It tells us that readers interested to know more about this topic, i.e. the 2020 Sabah election, would find or may possibly find more information from Malaysia Kini than the STAR. So for future research, we like to push the envelope a little bit more to ask, to what extent are these meta-discourse then indicative of the political agency of which newspapers reflect? And so with that, that's all for our presentation today. Thank you very much for watching.
Two, factors influencing academic writing behavior among undergraduates. Presenters Faizah Muhammad, Nadia Anwar, Nurshid Rahmat Daud, and Zainuddin Awang.
Assalamualaikum and a very good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Nadia Anwar, and today I'll be presenting my study entitled Factors Influencing Students' Writing Behavior for RISE 2022. My teammates are Associate Professor Faizah Muhammad, Associate Professor Nurshid Rahmat Daud from Academy of Language Studies from UiTM Shah Alam, and also Prof. Dr. Zainuddin Awang from University Sultan Zainal Abidin. Allow me to begin my presentation. The reason why we decided to venture into writing is because writing is necessary to help students to achieve academic and also career excellence, and also for transmission of written ideas and thoughts to others as well as oneself. Okay, the writer has to demonstrate understanding of the subject matter and also the utilization of cognitive abilities. They also have to ensure, writers also have to ensure that the meaning is clear through careful choice of words, organization of ideas, good style of writing, especially for tertiary academic writing. Writing also helps students to develop higher order thinking skills, evaluation, application in terms of Bloom's taxonomy. Now, although writing has been underlined to be very critical, students have reported, many studies have also reported that it is a very challenging skills for students to acquire, as there are certain levels of practice that they need to go through, and objectivity and also conciseness, which are the writing goals. So these are the problems that we have identified. Number one being students find writing less important than other skills, specifically speaking, which cause them to sometimes undermine the importance of the criticality of writing. Students also find writing difficult to master because they find it a bit too abstract. The third problem that we have identified is direct interference of mother tongue for L2 learners during the writing process. And the fourth issue that we have identified is that students find writing process boring and also time consuming, which actually contributes to writing anxiety and also lowering their confidence. After going through the literature extensively, we have identified three factors that influence their writing behavior, which are attitude, confidence, and psychological state. So the purpose of this study is basically is mainly to validate the framework, whether this framework is valid and also feasible for future studies. So in this study, we have formulated two main research questions in our process of validating the framework. So the first research question is, are there any significant relationship between student psychological state, confidence and attitudes, and writing behavior? And the second research question is, which factor contributes to writing behavior the most among the three that we employed? So the first one being, we employed quantitative research design using a cross-sectional survey. For this survey, we have actually several sections. So including demographic, section B, which examine attitude and also psychological state, and finally the last section examining students' confidence. So a 5-point interval scale was used, and in total we had 43 items for all 5 sections. So sampling technique, we use simple random sampling with 2 criteria, which are they must be undergraduates and they have completed a writing course for their undergraduate degree. Data collection was done using Google Form, and we received 84 responses from UiTM undergraduates. And for the 2 RQs, we have employed Pearson correlation analysis and also multiple regression analysis in validating the framework that we have developed. So in answering the second RQ number 2 here, relationships here. So we have identified that there was no significant relationship between student psychological state and writing behavior. If you have a look at the significance two-tail 0.679, which is above P, a value of 0.05. However, in contrast, we found that there were significant relationship between students' confidence and writing behavior, and also attitude and students' writing behavior, because their significance was below 0.05. Moving on to the third research question, which was identifying which factor contribute the most to students' writing behavior. So after conducting regression analysis, we have identified that the multiple correlation coefficient was 0.669. This indicates that approximately 44.7% of the variance of writing behavior is accounted for attitudes only. Only attitude was found to have influence writing behavior. Attitudes entered into the regression equation and was significantly related, P.001. Right, and then psychological state and confidence did not enter the equation. So therefore, we have formulated this formula, this coefficient formula, predicted writing behavior is equivalent to 1.690. From the constant value plus 0.562 from the attitude. So this is a contribution and innovation that we have identified from this study. So in conclusion, attitudes contribute to the writing behavior most, as the model shows that the regression coefficient related to attitude is 0.562, which translates into a unit increase in attitude is associated with 0.562 unit increase in writing behavior. So therefore, we have identified that only attitude has entered the regression equation, so which opened up some more scholarly opportunities, more research opportunities for us to include more variables that we think could influence writing behavior. So the conclusion that we have derived from this study is that, number one, further support and clarification regarding what academic writing is expected to involve within the university setting should be actually performed, should be materialized. The second conclusion that we made is that improve their understanding of assessment in terms of criteria such as synthesis and evaluation. We find that students' understanding of their writing tasks is quite minimal, so this could be research opportunity for us to extend our understanding of writing behavior. The third will be constructive feedback of students' writing. One of the problems that we have identified in influencing their attitude towards writing behavior is the lack of feedback. So therefore, educators should be paying more attention to providing higher quality feedback to students' writing. And finally, students' awareness of plagiarism. Sometimes when they feel that their words are not as prettier than the ones that they see online, they feel that their attitudes tend to be more negative, hence increasing their plagiarism rate. So it is important for us to educate the students that writing is a process. It's a multi-step process. Hence, it is very important for us to educate to the student that writing takes time and also a lot of practices. Thank you very much.
Paper 3, Mandarin AR for learning Mandarin vocabulary. Presenters Goh Chin Shuang, Teo Ju Tong, Muhammad Razi Manap, and Chu Fong Peng.
Mandarin AR, augmented reality application for learning Mandarin vocabulary. Our team members are Goh Jin Shuang, Teo Ju Tong, Muhammad Razi Manap, Jong Ging Ling, and Chiu Fong Peng. Thank you. COVID-19 pandemic has brought educators and students alike in a roller coaster journey of exploring, experimenting, and experiencing new approach in the teaching and learning process. In an age of science and technology, the use of advanced technologies has been the key element in this journey to deal with various costs, including language costs. Various studies in using AR in foreign language learning, such as Mandarin, have shown positive feedback, especially in increasing interest and improving students' memorizing dimension of learning achievement. The study focused on the self-development Mandarin AR application as a supplementary learning vocabulary tool for introductory Mandarin. Our research objective is to explore the feasibility of the Mandarin AR app to improve students' vocabularies with visual, verbal, auditory features. And second is to create a flexible, enjoyable, free, and self-regulated learning environment for learners. For our research question, we would like to know what is the features required in the content and design of augmented reality application for Mandarin vocabulary learning. Various research show that AR in language learning already start to embark into this area. However, this area has yet to be fully explored in Malaysia. One of the most significant problems in the design of foreign language AR application is related to aspects that include e-pedagogy, instructional design, and how those applications comply to HSK test standard. Mandarin AR app for learning Mandarin vocabulary. Our contents is based on the prescribed introductory Mandarin 1 textbook. Design consists of 7 themes with game-based exercise. We focus on 7 themes such as pronouns, time reference, place, pronouns, family, occupation, noun, and verb. And this is supported by multimedia learning theory, technology acceptance model. Hi, let's enjoy the Mandarin AR presentation. Students have to start to use the apps by clicking Start. They can choose different types of themes. So students will scan the image. Let's look at it.
我是他的弟弟。
So when students move camera towards marker provided, students can see the full picture and learn the vocabulary and the phrases. When they click the red button, they can listen to the sound of the pronunciation of the Mandarin phrases, so they can enjoy the learning process. Okay, let's look at the game-based exercise example. From the main menu, the app user click the exercise to start. The app user can choose any exercise module. So they will start the exercise by keying their own name and enjoy the game. So they choose family members. Okay, find the match. Okay, let's look at the question. Son. Okay, we know this is 儿子. Yes, you are right. And father, what do you think? Yes, 爸爸. And for daughter? 女儿. Yay. And elder sister? Oh no, wrong. So mother is mama. Yes, correct. And we have elder sister, 姐姐. So the app user can know their score and it shows answers. Yes. So they can replay the game again and again. So with the game provided, the students will know the correct answer and they can enjoy the learning in a fun and engaging way. It will make learning even easier. Following are the Mandarin AR app finding reports in terms of design, content, and presentation of the Mandarin AR app. From the pie chart, a total of 238 students from 5 different faculties participated in this survey to evaluate their experience of using Mandarin AR app. Based on the data collected, 194 students totally agree of the size and type of font used in the app are suitable. 196 students agree that the virtual graphics or image used in these apps are suitable. 204 students agree that the virtual graphics are informative. Students agree that the graphics are necessary in learning Mandarin because it makes them can understand the lesson better. From the analyzed data, most of the students agree the sample sentence provided to illustrate the use of vocabulary increase their vocabulary knowledge. Besides that, students also agree the distribution of vocabulary according to different themes make the learning process easy. The audio quality of the app also pleased most of the students. They agree that the audio quality is good and they are happy to have it. In terms of layout and interface design, most of the students agree that the design are systematic and user-friendly. The navigation and instruction of Mandarin AR app received positive feedback from students. Most of them agree the navigation is user-friendly and the instruction of using also clear and easy to understand. Although the Mandarin AR app received positive feedback from most of the students who participate in this research, there are around 1.8% students did not agree with the AR design and presentation due to its limitations. First, the Mandarin AR app is currently limited to Android users. Students suggest that this app should be available for iOS users in the future. Second, students report that the audio button in the Mandarin AR app is difficult to click due to the school graphics or image shown on their handphones. Third, some students also feel that scanning the image to read the vocabulary is time-consuming. Student feedback will be taken into consideration when upgrading and improving the application in the future. Based on the data collected, most of the students were motivated to use Mandarin AR app. They also agree that the application was useful and attractive. However, there are some students who did not have suitable device that support this application. The finding refers to descriptive analysis, revealing that the design, content, and presentation of the Mandarin AR app are suitable for them to learn Mandarin vocabulary. From the analysis in this study, it shows positive feedback from the respondents. We found that the design, content, and presentation of the Mandarin AR app are suitable to learn Mandarin vocabulary. It is hoped that the finding of the research could be a reference or guideline for practitioners in developing AR technology apps in language learning. 谢谢。
Number 4. ORCID's School Age Junior Program for Special Needs Children, Down Syndrome. Presenters Hidayu Shafi'i and Farah Nini Duzuki.
Assalamualaikum and a very good day to all participants of RISE and organizer of RISE 20 and 22. My name is Hidayu Shafi'i. I am from APB from the English Language Department, and I am collaborating with Dr. Farah Nini Duzuki. She is from ORCID in Petaling Jaya, Malaysia, Selangor, and we are presenting a topic on ORCID School Age Junior Program for Special Needs Children, specifically focusing on Down Syndrome children. Right, before I go further into this presentation, I would like to introduce you to ORCID, to the organization of ORCID. It is formally registered or formally known as Persatuan Kebajikan Anak-Anak Istimewa Selangor. And this organization is a non-profit educational center for special needs children located in Petaling Jaya, Selangor. This ORCID's organization was actually established by parents, right? They were first established, or they were first created as a support system for parents with special needs children. But after some time, it then was formally registered as ORCID, or Persatuan Kebajikan Anak-Anak Istimewa Selangor. And I would like to tell you about the visions of ORCID, which is to continuously provide quality education and training for school-age children with learning disabilities to enhance their potential towards independence and a better future. All right, and I think that some of us are aware, or most of us are aware, that compared to normal children, special needs children in Malaysia here, some of them are still having like difficulties or challenges to be in education center or to be in schools, and it is the vision of the ORCID to ensure that the special needs children here get their deserved education, get their deserved learning and teaching sessions. ORCID is currently focusing on educating and training Down syndrome children for now. For now, they only have children who are with Down syndrome. They do not have yet children from other kinds of disability. Parents will send their children to the ORCID school, right, to ORCID school or HQ, which is located in Petaling Jaya, as I mentioned before, to get their education. Right, moving on to the problem statement. The special needs children individuals in Malaysia are unable to achieve their full potential to live independently amongst the society. And this is like a very major concern of the parents with special needs children. They are very worried of their children's future, and they want their children to be able to live comfortably and conveniently, and to live independently within the society. All right, and from previous studies, it was found out that these students, they commonly have more challenges to adapt, and they were always seen as less ready to be in schools. All right, and in Malaysia, we have special needs education in the government schools, or commonly known as PPKI. all right, commonly known as PPKI we have. But sometimes, even the PPKI might not be able to cater to every needs of the children, all right. And not only that, these children also commonly have language development disabilities, in which this is also another challenge that teachers and also peers in government schools, in daily schools have, in which they are unable to interact freely with the special needs children, in which because of these language development disabilities, all right. And because of these problems, that's why the orchids, they want to have a more specialized education center for these children, so that they would be able to live comfortably or independently among the community, in the community. Right, moving on to the objectives of the ORCIDS program. Number one is to provide continuing education to children with special needs, because sometimes when the special needs children, when they come up to a certain age, maybe they come up to 16 or 17 years old, they do not continue their education, all right. And it is one of the ORCIDS objectives to ensure that even when they have come up to that age, 16 and 17, starts to become young adult, they would also receive education, right? They will also receive education. And another objective is to teach basic learning and basic living skills for special needs children from 7 to 9 years old. All right. In this particular presentation, I'm just going to present on one program of ORCIDS, which is the school age junior program, because in this particular program, in ORCIDS program, they actually have three. They have the school age junior program, they have the school age program, okay, after 9 years old, 9 to 13, and also pre-vocational program, 14 to 17. Okay, so this is the program that I talked to you about, the school age junior program. So in this particular program, it focuses on students at the age of 7 to 9 years old, and the duration of this program is 2 years program. And in this particular program, students are taught to read, write, and count. They are taught attending skills, and they are also taught living skills. As you can see in the pictures, there we have like one-to-one teaching and training session, like the ones in the left, and the ones in the right, we have like a group session where students can interact with each other, and they commonly have the slightly older children to assist or to scaffold the younger children. All right. And during this program, while doing this program and teaching this program to the students, the teachers and the staff, they use fundamental training simulation, which includes therapy such as occupational therapy, speech therapy, music, fine and gross motor skills. All right, and they use this therapy in order to teach and also stimulate the children, and in order to ensure that they are trained accordingly. All right, and in this junior program, as you can see there, the emphasis of the program are we have core subjects like the reading, writing, and counting skills. That will be the core subjects. And then they have the supplement emphasis on speech and social development, gross and fine motor skills, group activities, individual self-management skills, as well as communication skills. All right, as you can see in the picture below, I'm so sorry it got blocked by me, but there is a reading corner. There is a reading corner, specialized reading corner in the ORCIDS school, in which the students, they actually enjoy very much to read storybooks, and they really enjoy it when someone or some volunteers come and read stories to them. They really like it. They really like it when there are people who come and also act the story to them, use dramatization. And they can actually they can actually enjoy that well, right? Because in this particular program, they do not only learn, they learn a lot of things. They also, more importantly, is they are taught the communication skills to ensure that they can communicate with other people. Right, so for the outcome of the program, most of the ORCID students, after going through this program, they are able to read, write, and count. They can communicate with other people. They can identify and write numbers and also some common words, as you can see there: apple, book, bag, key, cat, etc. And in terms of their gross motor skills, they are able to run, dance, and jump on trampoline. They really love to dance. The students really love to dance. So for conclusion, the School 8 Junior Program by ORCIDs here, they managed to focus more on these children's development, and they are able to train the students according to their pace, because their development pace compared to the normal children is a bit slower. So it's very important to teach them according to their pace. And the existence and the outcomes of these programs show that it is very important to have very specialized and focused teaching and training or education center to special needs children. We do need this so that we can focus on teaching them more rather than just the basic skills. And we need help from the community as well to be a part of the, of this incentive, right? Of this program as well. They need volunteers. That's why we at UiTM APB, we have MOU with ORCIDs in which we also send our volunteers, right? And with this, we hope that the ORCIDs programs will continue to help the children more, and we at IPB will try our best to help them whenever needed. Right, so that's all from me and Dr. Farah Nini. Thank you so much, and Assalamualaikum.
5. I Matter Too, a study on mattering among online distance learners at a higher learning institution. Presenters Nur Maizuralin, Nur Ahnis Othman, and Megat Sharkawi Megat Azrai.
Assalamualaikum and hello my fellow audience. My name is Nur Maizura binti Lin, and before I begin my presentation, allow me to introduce my team members and the title of our study. The team consists of Dr. Nur Ahnis binti Osman from UiTM Shah Alam and Mr. Megat Sharkawi bin Megat Azrai from Sony EMCS Malaysia. The title of our study is I Matter Too, a study on mattering among online distance learners at a higher learning institution. Now, let's have a look at the content of my presentation today. Firstly, is the introduction to mattering. Secondly, what is mattering? Thirdly, mattering and distance learners. Fourthly, constructs of mattering, and last but not least, objectives of the study. I would like to also highlight that in this presentation, I will only be focusing on the theoretical framework of our study. Let's have a look at the introduction to mattering. Mattering was first introduced by Rosenberg and Maculo in 1981 in their study on parental mattering in adolescent mental health. What was the discovery of the study? It was discovered that mattering is important not only for individuals, but also society. In the study, they both discovered that the more the adolescents felt important, significant, and wanted by their parents, the better is their self-esteem, mood, and they are more or less likely to be involved in social delinquency. Schlossberg, in 1989 then, continued the work of Rosenberg and Maculo by introducing mattering among higher learning institution learners, which then led to the theory of mattering and marginality, which is the theoretical framework of the study. So, what is mattering? Mattering is the feeling where a person feels that he or she is significant or important by other people. And there are two types of mattering, and they are societal mattering and individual mattering. So, what is societal mattering? Societal mattering is the feeling of mattering to a group of people. It could either be at a workplace, in a team, or even at a learning institution. Individual mattering, on the other hand, is the feeling of mattering to an individual. It could either be a sibling, a parent, or even a spouse. Now, let's have a look at the constructs of mattering. There are altogether 5 different constructs of mattering, and they are importance, reliance, ego extension, awareness, and appreciation. I'm going to start off by explaining on the first construct, which is importance. Importance is where an individual feels that he or she is important to other people around him or her. Reliance, on the other hand, is where a person feels that other people depend on him or her. Ego extension, on the other hand, is where a person could feel that his friend or her friend has the exact same feeling as he or she is. It could be the feeling of happiness, or it could also be the feeling of sadness. Awareness, on the other hand, is where other people around us are aware on our existence. And last but not least is appreciation. Appreciation is the feeling of appreciated by the people around us. Now that I have explained on the different constructs of mattering, let's move on to the next slide. Many studies have been conducted in the Western educational setting with regards to mattering and distance learners. It was discovered that some of the issues faced by distance learners were incompletion of degrees, dropout cases, commitment issues, and having too many responsibilities to juggle. These researchers in the Western educational setting highlighted how understanding what matters to distance learners could actually help them with the issues that they are facing. However, it is quite the contrary in our local educational setting, as studies on mattering with regards to distance learners is still at its infancy stage. Hence, this study is timely as it helps to ensure that higher learning institutions provide a sustainable education for the society. Therefore, this study was conducted with the following objectives that will be presented in the next slide. The objectives of the study include distance learners' experience of mentoring with their peers, with the faculty members, especially their lecturers, academic advisors, administrative staff, and also to look into universities' understanding of distance learners holding or having multiple roles. Ladies and gentlemen, this marks the end of my presentation. With that, thank you and Assalamu alaikum.
Paper 6. Online Language Learning Strategies in Institutes of Higher Learning, IPT Malaysia, post-COVID-19. Presenters Fitri Nurul Ain Nordin, Nur Zahidah binti Ahmad, Lili Hanifarizan binti Asbullah, and Nur Safira binti Ahmad Safian.
Good day, everyone. I would like to share with you our research about online language learning strategies in Institute of Higher Learning Malaysia post-COVID-19. So the problem statement, the World Health Organization has declared COVID-19 to be at pandemic stage on 2020. So during this time, the Malaysian Ministry of Education has issued guidelines for implementation of teaching and learning online. Okay, which include online learning using Google Classroom. So the main limitation that teachers face when conducting competency teaching is that teachers are less skilled in using computers for teaching, and students are less interested in learning. So this research objective is proposed to develop and produce an online language learning strategy that can be used by educators and students to master language skills using post-COVID-19 educational technology. So the methodology, this research employs a quantitative method. So the study is divided into three phases: to review, research instrument construction, and also analyzing the data. And the sample size of the research is determined using Cauchy and Morgan model, where the researchers compiled information about total of students in Arabic bachelor program from 5 universities for session March until August 2021. So the population is 1,062 and the sample size is 280. So result and finding, we found that from 23 items of questionnaire, so the interpretation here is very high and high, whereas the student agreed that they know how to learn through online learning, and then they suggest that online learning time should be limited, and the most highest interpretation is the instruction given during online learning should be clear. Okay, so at the end of the research, we propose a model of online learning strategy, which contains four main items, which is setting goals, material and platform, and also lecturer and students. So firstly, setting goal, we have to set the clear expectation before starting any online learning. And then we have to set specific goals, and the schedule must be set and shared with the student. And the time or period of online learning have to be limited. Why? Because the suitable period for one online learning session is between 1 hour to 2 hours only. Okay, and then for material and platform, we have to utilize a variety of learning platforms such as online conference, learning management system, and also utilize a variety of teaching aids such as slide, videos, games, and these will help students to understand well and easily in a fun way. And then for lecturers, lecturer have to able to teach and reach all learners. Lecturer have to understand students' problem, and then lecturer have to give clear instruction. And we have to motivate student all the time. Lecturer also have to consider new learning method. Instead of using chalk and talk, we have to use educational technology aids. And then for students, they have to be prepared mentally and physically, of course, because they have to stay focused. And then they have to participate in online discussion, use the chat room, and use all the features and icons. And this is very important to make the class impactful. And then they have to make notes during the online class, not only listening to the lectures. So thank you very much for listening. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Paper 7. A needs analysis of speech assistant tool in enhancing students' oral presentation performance. Presenters Nadia Anwar, Maisarah Ahmad Kamil, Nuriza Mat Ngadiran, and Nur Shidrah Mat Daud.
My name is Dr. Nurizah binti Mat Ngadiran. I will further explain the content of the slides.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and hi everyone.
My name is Dr. Nuriza binti Mat Ngadiran from Center for Language Studies UTHM. My group members are Cik Nadia Anwar, Puan Maisara Ahmad Kamil, and Associate Professor Dr. Norshidah Mat Daud. They are currently attached to Academy of Language Studies UITM. The title of our project is a needs analysis of speech assistant tool in enhancing students' oral presentation performance. Now, I would like to further explain about reports on oral presentation and literature on oral presentation. The 2020 QS Global Employer Survey also identified communication to be the skill of most importance, a score of 97. Although oral communication skills is recognized, the fluid and challenging nature of oral communication skills has made it difficult for many to be effective communicators, which emphasizes why these skills is to be highly valued by many hiring managers. The QS Global Skills Gap Report 2019 notes oral communicative competence represents one of the widest skill gaps between graduates' skills and employers' expectations, with the first skill being problem solving. A subset of communication skills, oral presentation skill is essential to facilitate hiring managers assessing and distinguishing the quality and suitability of graduates. This statement is supported by a number of scholars. Singh highlighted that students were least prepared to conduct presentations at the workplace. According to Sang, factors that contribute to students' presentation performance need further investigation. Zainuddin et al. Have mentioned that fresh graduates' presentation with clients are hindered by their proficiency. Kofit et al. Have highlighted that graduates experience difficulties to tailor their presentations to an audience. And according to Babai et al., there is a mismatch between students' self-perceived and actual oral presentation skills. I would like to now direct your attention to the problem statement, research objective, and methodology. Studies and reports have demonstrated that there is a widening gap between graduates' proficiency in oral presentations and the industrial demands. Graduates' oral presentation performance was reported to be unsatisfactory, and workplace presentations are viewed as intimidating by many graduates. This research has two objectives. Number one, to examine students' perception towards speaking skills, and number two, to examine if there is a significant difference in the needs for speaking skills among social science, science, and business students. This research is quantitative in nature. We implement cross-sectional survey. As for the instrument, the questionnaire includes 4 different sections and we use 5-point interval scale. For the sampling technique, we use simple random sampling with 2 criteria. 147 responses from 2 universities answered the question via Google Form. As for the data analysis, for the first research question, it is descriptive analysis, and for the second research question, it is ANOVA. I'm sure that all of you would like to know the findings. Am I right? The results from the descriptive analysis showed that students find speaking as the most important skill, yet they find speaking as the most difficult skill to master. The results from ANOVA show no significant difference. This explains that students from different programs are experiencing similar issues and are in need of a tool to assist their oral presentation. Therefore, the results of this study prove that students from different universities are experiencing similar issues in oral presentations, which necessitates speech assistant tool. This also underlines that speaking is a skill that students find highly challenging. Thus, measures must be taken to address this issue. Thank you everyone for listening and have a nice day.
closing speech by the Project Director of Rights, Associate Professor Dr. Aini Akmal Muhammad Qasim.
Assalamualaikum and hello everyone. We have finally come to the end of the event. It has been a great 3 hours of insightful presentations, from learning about meta-discourse in newspaper writing to understanding the impact of a training stimulation program for Down syndrome children. All the presented papers, to an extent, have contributed to the respective fields of knowledge. It has been a wonderful symposium, and I have enjoyed watching all the presentations. I hope you have enjoyed them too. Today's program is just the tip of the iceberg, since I believe there will be more partnerships and collaborations to come between the faculty and the industry and society alike. I'd like to thank the Dean for officiating the event and being supportive throughout the organizing process. I also wish to extend my sincere gratitude to our amazing committee members, of whom each and everyone has played a significant role in organizing the symposium. And most importantly, thank you to our wonderful participants. Without your contribution, this symposium would not have been materialized. Lastly, on behalf of the research and publication team APB, thank you for being here with us in the symposium. Hopefully, all of us have gained a lot from the presentations, and that more research collaborations with the industry and society will be established in the future. So, looking forward to seeing you again soon at RISE Symposium 2023. Thank you.